second.
Transitioning from living at home to living on your own can be one of the most hardest things you have to do growing up. It's never easy when you have to leave the house and go on your own. But at Northeast Community College, they're making it a little bit easier.
Transitioning to the dorms, it's been easier. I mean, I don't have to pay the bills. I don't have to pay for water. I don't have pretty much to pay for food. We have pretty much everything in here. So it's been a pretty good experience. I like it so far. So yeah, it's been really nice so far, and I like it right here.
It's been nice living in the dorms. It's been nice to have a couple roommates to kind of keep the feeling of having some general company, I guess. It's nice. It's nice to also be surrounded by other student athletes and people, so it feels a little bit more like a community.
Well, it's a good transition between, home life and living on your own, because you ain't got to worry about the things, regular people have to worry about, like water bills and electricity, because all that's included. It's just an easy way to transition, because all the things are already settled for, and all you got to do is just keep your room clean, walk downstairs, get breakfast. You ain't got to make nothing yourself. But it also gives you some opportunities to start branching out, because you can, you're given more freedom than you are normally.
Northeast Community College just offers great opportunities for students to find new friends, hang out with their friends, and just spend time together down at the dining hall, in the game rooms, or wherever on campus. And it's great for students.
Camp's alright, I definitely miss home cooked food. I miss my mom's cooking a lot. But the camp, at the end of the day, it makes do. It's pretty good night sometimes, so I like it.
Northeast Community College also takes pride in academics for their students, just as much as athletics.
Well, we're required to do a study hall, and that's really productive, because you're in an environment that's really focused on your schooling, so you can stay on top of everything while being in a hectic baseball schedule.
So my academics right here, I mean, the teachers are very good, and we also have study halls. I mean, with the season, it's very, very hard to keep up with your studies and maintaining good grades. So study halls, that has helped me a lot throughout the time that I've been here, along with tutoring with all my teachers, and it's been a really nice experience so far.
I guess the main thing I like about my major is just working with different equipment, things like that. I'm a really hands-on person. I love getting involved in something, getting my hands on something, working with it, and just learning how it works. And I think that's really how broadcasting here is just a lot of different just things you learn how to use. You learn how to use different cameras and stuff like that. And it's just, I think that's one of the big things that I love about my major. We use equipment that is very state-of-the-art. It's very up-to-date. We use lots of different cameras, different models. We take drone classes. We use drones to capture footage. We learn how to use lighting and work with different radio boards and video equipment, video programs, audio programs, just all sorts of stuff. There's so much stuff that we use. What made me want to go into broadcasting was in high school, I got an opportunity through my digital media class where I was able to broadcast volleyball games and some basketball games on Strive. And it was me and another friend that we decided we would do it. And we also wanted to commentate it, make it like an actual sports broadcast, thinking it'd be a cool idea. And we decided to borrow some headsets that some of the track coaches and things like that would use to communicate from the crow's nest and down on the field. We took those headsets and would use them to commentate the game. And they finally decided to invest in some different headsets and mics like that. But yeah, that's kind of how I got my start. In broadcasting is just using your time to your advantage, because you'll have projects that you'll work on, you'll get assigned a couple weeks ago, and now it's like the day before and it's not done. Like, you really haven't used your time that well. But with scheduling interviews and getting B-roll and editing everything together, writing scripts, making sure your audio lines up, all that stuff all takes time. So I think one of the biggest struggles for me is kind of using my time a little better than I should. I guess I should say that's my struggle. Really, wherever the road takes me. I want to kind of jump into the workforce, take a break from school. If I decide I want to go back to school, I will always have that option. But just go somewhere, find a job at a TV or radio station, just to start out as an entry position and just kind of work my way up and see where the career really takes me. A lot of my classes are all hands-on stuff. A lot of it is kind of like you're being shown how to do something, and then the next time you're there, you'll sit down and try and do it. And then eventually you get to this point where you learn something, and then you kind of know what you're doing, still need some help, and then eventually you'll get to that point where you know what you're doing and you can handle yourself. So a lot of hands-on work and things like that. The class load, I should say, is probably not too bad either. It's very spread out and kind of throughout the week. You get lots of free time, which is good to work with radio shifts, to get those worked into your schedules, as well as other stuff outside of class that is productions, newscasts, broadcasting sports, radio, as I said, just lots of different things. So you're really kind of on your toes here in the broadcasting degree, and you're doing a lot more outside of class. You're going to class obviously and getting homework and things like that, but just doesn't stop there. It kind of goes from class all the way to out of class stuff and just productions and all that stuff. So yeah, not really too bad either. I guess just the fun in it. I really don't have like an inspiration. I just kind of discovered something that I wanted to do, and it's fun and I enjoy it. So that's kind of why I wanted to do it. So that's really my inspiration, is just having something that's enjoyable to do.
The best part of the screenwriting pre-production process for me was kind of just thinking of the ideas. I live for those kind of eureka moments where you just, oh, aha, I know what I need to do for this. And so kind of seeing the story progress and change and keep getting better the more ideas and building off of that has been the best thing.
Just the creativity it takes to create a story like this. All the little tiny aspects individually, it sounds kind of wacko, but together it's like really molded into a nice story.
The worst part of the pre-production screenwriting process was kind of just when you're stuck and you don't know where you want to go with it. You want it to be so much better, but you just don't have the ideas yet. And so you know what it can be, but you don't know what to do with it yet. So you just have, the building blocks, but no plan. So that was the worst part of the screenwriting process. But the best part, obviously, was when you build those Legos and you make something awesome out of it, and then you work with what you have and make a really good movie out of it.
The worst part of pre-production was just getting my story to go from one part to another. I was missing a middle chunk and I wasn't quite sure how to get it. But then the best part about the pre-production probably would be getting all the props and just seeing like the little individual trinkets and things that will go into making this story feel real. With this movie, I wanted to emphasize that success is really what you make of it. It's not what anybody else says it has to be.
I think what I wanted to do with the movie was have something that people can just laugh at and people can enjoy and, kind of push the boundaries of, what film can achieve and get creative with it.
Getting set ready, that would be my favorite part. Just, immersing ourselves in this new world. The hardest part, probably time management. I'm sure we goofed off way too much.
We found this old popcorn
Found footage
in that cover that's probably been there since the 18th century. Yum.
Tasty.
It doesn't even move.
What I learned is that it's very important to be prepared to know what you want in your film, to know how you're gonna film it, and to just kind of don't settle for a shot that you don't like. If you don't like it, do it again, That's what I've learned.
It was a really great test of my skills, just doing all aspects of the movie making process, and yeah, it was just a really exciting thing to do.
Challenges that I had to overcome were film problems. There's always a problem whenever it's making a movie. There's gonna be one. And so I had some problems with the shots and I had to do some redos and, scheduling, getting stuff done on time was pretty difficult, but, it still happened.
The hardest thing I would say would be scheduling my actors and then editing. Just like getting all the colors to look right.
In the production process, the worst part was getting actors together, scheduling, all that nitty-gritty stuff nobody wants to deal with. The best part, obviously, was getting all my shots done and seeing these ideas in my head in reality, just seeing them come to life.
Seeing it finalized and just having it done was probably my favorite. Nervous to see what the audience thinks is the worst.
The post-production process, the worst part was all the hours you have to spend sitting in a room. You can't make editing a short process. Even though I wish you could, that would be the worst part, is just the amount of time it takes. But the best part is seeing all your ideas finally out there and they're real and the movie's done and you can watch it and enjoy it, and it's all the work that goes into it is so worth it when you see the final product. What I will take away from this experience is check your shots before you leave your location. But that's not the only thing. What I'll take away is just a good short film experience, getting to make a film that's all my own, that's not for necessarily a competition or has a time limit. And I just, got to put my heart and soul into this movie.
The most rewarding thing for me for completing the capstone has been just seeing what the little steps lead up to this final product, and just seeing everything coming to conclusion, and seeing it on the big screen.
Almost threw it at myself. Okay.
I always had a lot of buddies that would play. Played it in high school. I grew up in Columbus, and there was, a nice disc golf course at the park there at Pawnee. They started introducing more of them and more of them. A lot of college campuses have them. I know CCC in Columbus. So I just kind of picked up on a couple of friends, college friends, and they've been around everywhere. So being introduced to it through some friends and everything like that, at the end of the day, it's kind of nice because all you got to do is throw a frisbee, and everybody's throwing a frisbee, but there's a lot of different ways that you can throw it. You can throw backhand, there's forehand. I, for instance, am pretty much always backhand, and I don't throw very well forehand. There's a lot of different discs that you can utilize and everything like that are supposed to do different things. I consider myself more of a novice, so it is difficult for me to get everything to do exactly what I want. And there's always a bunch of different factors, winds and trees and, just the layout of the course and everything like that. It's kind of fun to see how you do progress. If you play a hole one day or play the course one day, you can go out the next day and see if you actually performed better. Sometimes you don't. You learn a lot more about how you throw and what you're comfortable with, and how some of the discs that you use actually react in certain situations, whether you're throwing it forehand or backhand or doing anything like that. So it's always something that you can always critique yourself on and become better about, but also is just fun to go out and play. So if you wanted to get into disc golf or anything like that, at the end of the day, all you need is one disc. Something to be able to throw just to be able to play the course. They make a variety of different discs, such as, you're gonna have a driver or a distance disc. They have some fairway or mid-range, and then there's, short and approach, stuff like that. You can get them at most sports stores, or, Walmart will carry them. They'll even carry, a pack of 3 that'll give you a driver, a mid-range, and a putter. But at the end of the day, all you need is a disc. I enjoy going out with people. Some of those people that I go out with, yeah, they've been out by themselves, and it's still, a nice thing to be outside on a, nice day or something like that, enjoy nature. It is fun when you have some other people there too, and you can play teams and scrambles and everything like that. It's golfing, but everybody can do it because, swinging a club can get hectic sometimes.
Hey, my name is Jackson Keogh. You may also know me as Lizard Lava, or the Shaker King, or the 69 Shakers guy, or the G Fuel merch guy. And this is how I was able to make it into a PewDiePie video. I started watching PewDiePie's videos about 8 years ago. It was 2013. I was looking for a specific video game to watch on YouTube, and his was the first video to come up. And ever since then, I was pretty much watching his videos every day since 2013. And he's just been a pretty big part of my YouTube adventure. One of my favorite parts of the day is watching his video. A couple of years ago, maybe 2018, is when I really started to buy his merchandise. I saw a couple designs that I really liked, and I actually had a job at the time. Prior to that, I was not able to buy any merch because I didn't have a job. I was still doing going through school, and so I started acquiring a few pieces of merch, and I really liked the designs that he was putting out, so I kept buying more and more because I wear hoodies, I wear shirts, but I just really liked the merchandise that he was putting out, and I bought a fair amount of hoodies and shirts. I think the most that I ever had was around 30 pieces of merch, from hoodies, shirts, sweatpants, G Fuel shakers. There was a Pew News mug. There's a couple hats. I think altogether it was around 30 pieces of merch. My bank account didn't really like that, but I kept buying them anyway because I did like it.
I decided to take a picture of me wearing all of the merch that I had acquired at the time, which was around 15 shirts and hoodies. I put it on all at the same time. I was like this big marshmallow, and I put all the merch that wasn't clothing on the desk and took a picture of it. And I didn't really think anything of it at the time when I posted it. I went to sleep and I woke up and it was at like 10,000 upvotes on Reddit. And I was freaking out because I had never been in a PewDiePie video before. I've always wanted to be in a PewDiePie video. I've seen all the Lawai videos that he's made, and I just thought it was really, really exciting. And throughout the rest of the day, it had grown to about 24,000 upvotes, and that's where it peaked out, was 24,000, and it was great. And that's the first post that ever made it in a Lawai video. So after that, the only reason I continued was because he said he has 2 shakers. That's more than I have. That's illegal. And that's the idea. That's where it started. I was like, I'm gonna get more G Fuel shakers. I'm just gonna keep buying them. So the next post was with 4 G Fuel shakers. And I posted it, sitting at my desk, looking serious at the camera, and I posted it, and within a few hours it was just rising to the top. So I was like, this is great. So it made it into the next video. And he made a similar reaction where he thought it was hilarious, and so that's when I decided I gotta do this. I gotta keep buying, and I gotta eventually get like 69 of them. Which the next post it was 10, and then 20, and then I finally made it up to 69 of these G Fuel shakers, and that's the most of shakers I've ever had. People were commenting like, oh man, you should give these away. This is so funny, you know. They were saying I was like the biggest mad lad, such a Chad move. And it was really great. And finally, when PewDiePie reacted to that, I was like ecstatic.
69! Well done. That's so dumb.
And so he reacted to the Shakers post, and in that post, I had stated that if he let me host Meme Review, I would give all the Shakers away. And prior to me posting that, I had already known I was gonna give them away. I didn't need them personally, and I felt like giving back to the PewDiePie community with all the other 19-year-olds at the time. And so I'd pick out random people from the comments and send them a message saying like, hey, you know, send me your shipping address. I'm gonna send you one of these shakers. And I got like a bunch of different people from all across the world. Half of them were in the US and half of them were places that I would think that I could send the shaker, but later I found out that I couldn't. But he reacted to it and he said I could host Meme Review, but he never contacted me about it or anything like that, and so I was pretty upset. But I felt wrong asking to host Meme Review because all the other people that have been featured on Meme Review never asked; they were just invited. So I kind of retracted my original offer and just gave them away anyway. So the shakers, they have been given away. Half of them were given away to the people in the US. The other half I was not able to send because they were international. There's a lot more things you have to do to send something across, you know, the world. So currently, half of them in the possession of the 19-year-olds that I said that I would give them to. So after that post of the 69 shakers, a lot has happened. A full year has passed, if not more. After the video uploaded, I waited a couple days waiting for Felix to reach out to me and say that I can host Meme Review and get that all set up, and he never did. So I decided to reach out to his editor, which is Sive. And he actually replied after a couple days and said that he wanted to do a video with me. And I thought that was, that was awesome. I get to be in a video with his editor, and I get to be in a potential video with him, with PewDiePie. So after I think a month had passed, I was finally in a video with his editor, and it was really fun. I like talking to him. He's a great guy, and it went really well. My YouTube channel at the time was at like 250 subscribers, and after I was in that video with Sive, it went up to like 2,500 subscribers. And I've always wanted to start a YouTube channel and really get into that, and so it was a really good boost that helped my channel a lot, and it was great. And after that, things died down and nothing really happened for a really long time. I got rid of most of my merch, I got rid of all the shakers, and I just lived life, made YouTube videos and went about my day, still watching PewDiePie videos. And then I actually met my now fiance. She was my girlfriend at the time, and I decided, hey, I want to marry her. So I decided the way I was going to get engaged was to post a picture of me holding the ring, asking Hannah, will you marry me, in the PewDiePie subreddit. And I really hoped it would work, and it actually did. I was in a PewDiePie video again, and it was great. And the next week, I watched the video with Hannah, and she said yes, so it's great. But I watched the video, and he reacted to my meme. I took a video of the proposal and posted that, and it also got into Lawai again. And then after that, finally, after a year, PewDiePie reached out to me and asked if I wanted to be in a video. So a month goes by, we get on Discord, and he calls me, and we have a great 10-minute conversation about what happened, why I did it, how I did it, and I had finally talked to PewDiePie, and I also gained about like 20,000, 30,000 subscribers from that, which now I'm doing YouTube more seriously, and I'm making more gaming videos and some G Fuel baking videos where I make things like bread, throw G Fuel in it. It's really fun. I've upgraded my setup from what it was, and it's been really fun, and I love the community that I've built around this 69 Shakers, and I'm just so excited and so happy to be like around for all this, and it's overall been really great talking to PewDiePie and getting the shakers, getting the merch, and yeah. I think for the next thing that I'm gonna do is not to do anything. I've really met my peak. I've talked to PewDiePie myself in a call, and I've been in a video of his multiple times, and I have a great YouTube community watching my videos. And I think, now that I'm getting married, I really just gonna live my life making YouTube videos and always watching PewDiePie videos every day. I think that's what it's gonna stick as. And also buying G Fuel, because I buy every single flavor that they release. It's not an addiction, it's a hobby.
Deon Terry was my best friend. He was the most kind-hearted, loving person that I ever got to meet. We were inseparable for a really long time. There usually wasn't too many days where we weren't hanging out together. He loved video games, he loved movies, he loved debating, he loved correcting grammar, he loved fake fighting, he loved too much, almost. He's one of the best people I ever got to meet. Deon passed away on February 14th of 2021. He'd been having organ complications and was drinking on top of that. And it all just caught up with him really fast. Nobody really knew what was going on. It just kind of escalated really fast before anybody could get control of it. So, me and Rage for No were two of the last people that got to see him, at least out of our friend group. It was tough because he was on a ventilator and he had a tube down his throat, so he couldn't really respond to anything that we were saying, but it was a really tough day. But I'm glad we got to see him. We got him on the phone with a bunch of other people, as many as we could before he got frustrated, you know, understandably, because he couldn't respond or say anything. But yeah, I'm really glad I got to see him. That was on February 12th.
Could you tell me a little bit more about the Dion Memorial benefit?
Well, we've been trying to put something on for quite some time. Everything just kept getting pushed back. We kind of wanted it a little bit closer to when he did pass. But our intentions with it were just to raise money for medical bills for his remaining family, his brothers and his father, and try and take some of the stress that goes along with losing somebody like that away. So, and on top of that, we wanted a night, because he didn't want to have a funeral, where we could remember him and just celebrate his life. So that was our intention. There was so many people involved. This was originally Cecilia from the Mint and Matt from the Begats' idea, and they came to me because I was one of the few people that actually had contact with Dion Sr. And they said they wanted to do a benefit concert, and I thought that would be awesome. So I got a hold of Danny and Tyler from Dole Party, and as many people as I could, really, to be included. We actually got Dion's cousin, Trey, aka Jaden Sounds, to come down, and that was really cool. Another friend of ours, Keely, he opened for us. Dallas Green, Dally G, DJ'd that night too. It was awesome. Danny and Tyler did most of the grunt work with getting together the poster and all of that kind of side of it, and I really appreciate that. They killed it. The poster came out awesome. They also, Danny did the stickers along with Keely, who drew the picture of Dion, so that was really cool. Bree and her mom, Chris, they did a lot of the printing. They got a lot of that stuff done, which was awesome. And then a couple people that we didn't really expect, like Jared Stedman from the Deep Sea Divers, who I forgot to mention earlier, donated some pork, so we actually were able to feed people while doing it. Woody did sound. It was, I think that's about it. I can't, off the top of my head. Might have to come back to that one, do that one again. It was really just a group effort. I mean, I started talking about it, and people really stepped up and really just took a piece and did their part with it, which made it all really, really easy. Not to say that it was easy, because it was not. It took a lot of hard work and time from a lot of people involved, but everybody really came together and helped each other out, which was awesome.
What were your expectations about this whole event?
I tried to come in it with zero. I just wanted to do something nice for Dion and everybody else, give everybody a moment to remember him. So I really didn't expect anything. Anything that came out of it was just a plus, really, for me. I really just wanted Dion up there to know that we loved him and we cared about him.
What are your opinions and thoughts about the whole turnout?
It was insane. The depot's parking lot and the street going by the Mint and then next to it were completely packed. It was shoulder to shoulder at the bar. It was hard to get a drink almost. It was insane. It was awesome. I was blown away. I really didn't know what to do.
How do you think Dion's family felt about the whole event?
I know a lot of them that chose not to come, didn't want to. They thought it was wrong to celebrate Dion's life in a bar when alcohol took a big part of taking his life, and I get that. But we got to have his aunt Gina, who is Trey's mom, and then Dion Sr.'s aunt Lisa. They were able to come with their kids, and I think they had fun. I did my best to try and make sure they were okay the entire night. It looked like they were having fun, listening to music and stuff, and there was a lot of crying and laughing and happy moments too, so I think they really enjoyed that. I really think we did him justice. Not only because it was raining the entire day, the day of, and 5 minutes before the show, there was a rainbow. But one of the most important things to Dion was his friends. He thought it was so cool how musically inclined everybody was. It is. And I think had he been there, he would have loved it. I think we did him right.
My name is Juliette Gordette Metcalf. I'm originally from St. Martin. I was raised in Florida. Decided to leave Florida and attend school in Kansas. I started at the age of 12. I moved to Norfolk the fall of 2012 in July. I have several. So the top is actually meeting different people. And the second, I would say, messing around with different types of hair, from curly to straight to kinky to wild to froze. And third is sharing my gift. Mostly in Norfolk, I would say that I specialize in ethnic hair, and not just ethnic is the product behind what I do with the hair. From every curl pattern uses different curling cream, styling cream, and shampoo. So I would say that's my specialty. Ooh, that is hard. It depends on the day. I would say box braids for the summertime. I like, during wedding season, I would say sew-in extensions, but now since ethnic girls can actually wear tape-ins and microlinks, I say microlinks. Curly hair. My mixed girls, the curls, the texture, learning to keep the hair hydrated. But most of my clients that have textured hair are super dry. A lot want to actually switch over and relax their hair because that's what their friends have. And the result of relaxed hair, I call it the bougie product, because if you're not taking care of your natural hair now and you want to slap a relaxer on there, get ready to look like Steve Harvey, because it's gonna be bad. Well, I came into Norfolk wanting change. So how I describe our shop is, you get a little bit of old and new. So you're never sitting in one style. You get to learn the new products, the new techniques. Like, my favorite thing to teach my clients while they're doing their hair is product knowledge. Because for you to actually manage your hair, you need to know the products that you're using and how to use it. So I would say the atmosphere for me is that I like to service from young to old, so no one gets left out. You mean, how do they make me happy? When they listen to me. Mostly it's just, I build a relationship with my clients that they're not clients anymore, they're more like family. Some of them consider themselves guests, but they're still family. It's just to have someone to listen and talk to. So my most important thing that I would like to tell my clients and any other clients, if you do not like something, do not ever be afraid to tell your stylist, your barber, anything, because if you keep coming back and they're doing the same thing over and you're not liking it, that is the hardest thing to correct, because then they're going to keep doing the same thing and you're going to come in and you're always going to be mad. But it is nice that you can have someone sit in your chair and they can talk to you. The easiest way to fix something is knowing that the client doesn't like it. So I always tell my clients, like, I may pay all this money to educate myself, but it doesn't help if my clients doesn't communicate to me the same way I try to communicate to them. So it's just building that relationship.
is Lance Laurent. I'm owner of Pro Track and Tennis, and I'm also the president. 30 years ago this November, I was looking for a company to buy, and I actually found an older gentleman and his son that had a track and tennis court business. It was very small, it was just the two of them, and I ended up looking at it and ultimately buying it. When I bought the business, I started out by myself with one helper. Our first year we did about $200,000 in business. This year our goal is $6 million, and we will have approximately 35 to 36 employees.
All right, so I say
Our main focus, the core of our business, is resurfacing running tracks and color coding tennis courts. The number one core value is integrity. The second core value is driven to deliver. And our third core value is shared success. I couldn't do anything but this. I'm wired for it. It can be all-consuming, but we're building things in place now to where I'm trying to work myself out of a job, where I'm working on the business, not in it. And that comes with growth. You can hire people and take some of the hats off. When you start out, you wear all the hats. And so I'd say I have every hat off except one right now.
My name is Taylor Hunke, and I'm 20 years old, and I'm currently attending the Northeast Diesel Technology Program on the ag side. What made me kind of interested in that field is kind of at a young age, my family, we've always had projects around the farm. They break down, oil leak, just something happens, and we've always had to take it somewhere to get it fixed. And 9 times out of 10, the bill always comes back, always way too high. So I think it kind of started from there. I always kind of wanted to try to do that stuff myself. And slowly but surely, I got the knowledge. And before I ever actually started the diesel program, I decided to build a go-kart. And I think I want to say 15 when I started this project. And this project was probably my favorite project that I ever worked on, mainly because it was my first project. It was such a learning experience. It was something to be seen, that's for sure. It always broke down, it didn't run very well, but by golly, it was fast, and that's all I really cared about at the time. After that project, I traded it off for a motorcycle, and then after the motorcycle, I traded it off for, I want to say, another motorcycle, and then eventually I got a car in that trade, and it just slowly worked up. And I think what drives me just to become a mechanic, to do this kind of work, is just that I like getting something that is junk that anyone would look at and say, you know, that's not worth it, throw it away, something like that. And I like turning it into something, building it to become something that's a little bit different than what the person might have thought, a little bit better than what the person might have thought it'd become. I'm very passionate about making things look good and going above the expectation. I think my least favorite project that I ever had though, I own this old truck. It's an 86 Ford. It's a nice truck now. And at the time, I thought it was just the greatest idea to completely restore this truck. I did it over the summer, and it was a completely awful experience. I learned a lot, great experience out of the deal, but I spent more money on it than I wish I would have, and in the long run, it just killed me. I still have this truck now, it still has problems, problems that I'm still trying to nail down, but overall, it was definitely a good learning experience. One of my projects that I'm working on now currently is this motorcycle right here. It's a 86 Yamaha 600, and it kind of needs a bit of work. Carbs, doesn't run super well, just kind of here and there stuff. tinkering around with it. It's just going to be a nice little hobby bike just to kind of fix up and run. I think I want to make a career out of this, definitely. In a couple years, I'm hoping to build my own shop, kind of similar to the size of this shop that I'm in now. This is actually my parents' shop. I work out here quite a bit, but my hope is to build a shop about this size, heated. It's got cement floors, and I'd like to make a business out of it. You know, bring tractors in, vehicles, just kind of all sorts of miscellaneous stuff, even restoration projects if people want it, motor overhauls, just kind of anything that needs done, I kind of want to work on. And I think I'd like that a lot better than working for a corporate job, just because I like to see the satisfaction on the customer's face when I give it back to them personally. At a corporate job, you know, you work on it, you get it done, send it out the door, bring in the next one. I like to actually have that one-on-one with the customer, see that they're happy with what they got back, and get feedback from them that they're happy with it and they'd come back again. I'd really like to do that. My dream project, it's a 1967 Chevy Impala. It's actually from my favorite TV show, Supernatural. There's a lot of reasons why I like this car. The TV show definitely brought it more to my attention than prior, I guess. But I really want to restore one of those vehicles, drive it around on the road. Granted, the gas mileage isn't the best, but with my know-how, I might be able to do like a modern engine swap into it. I think that'd be kind of neat. Who knows? But my dream project would be at some point to own a 1986 Chevy Impala.
My name is Bryce Schmitz. I'm the owner of Whisper Skate Shop, and I've been skating for 15 years. So Whisper began when I was 12 to 13 years old, and you know, it started with me and a group of friends, and we lived for Whisper. We were always just like writing up shirt designs and just dreaming of Whisper being a worldwide skate brand, and that was our life back then. You know, we were so dedicated to it. Like, that's literally all we did was dream about Whisper. Then on my 14th birthday, two of the homies passed away in a bad car wreck here in Norfolk. My mom woke me up to the news that, you know, two of them passed away, and I couldn't believe it. So I called the one's brother, just couldn't believe it, and I told him on that day, I said, someday we're gonna turn Whisper into something. It's pretty awesome. We got one of the boards that Christian did. This is one of the guys that passed away. He drew this board up, and you know, it's amazing to display this in the shop. You know, the fact that we have this, like, this was, I mean, Whisper was our life back then, and this was at his funeral, and like, super honored to be able to have this displayed in the shop. And you know, once we get the Whisper boards going, at some point this is going to be one of the designs, and just super honored to have this. There's a ton of obstacles coming at the beginning, you know, and we still have a ton today, but it's a lot easier to overcome them now. So we had the building for 9 months, and we had nothing in the store. You know, it was like scrounge up like 50 bucks, put it into the place. You know, it was such a slow process getting started. I was living right back here. We had a little wall up, and I was at my worst. I was dead broke. There were so many nights that I would go to bed starving, like no money at all. And you know, I had a mobile home that I lived in before I moved here. My plan was to sell the trailer and put all the money into this place to get it going, and you know, finally get started. I mean, you know, we were open, but we had no inventory. The house ended up getting condemned, and I didn't get a sell. I had to pay for people to tear it down. I mean, it was a disaster. That day was so rough. You know, when we first started, we had nothing. You know, this place was absolutely nothing. It was just a dream, you know, and just worked every single day towards it. the past 3 years now, and you know, it's finally getting there. So the community of Whisper is honestly just a big group of misfits. You know, we all have our own stories. You know, we've all made our own mistakes, but we come together as a family, and we have 3 guys here that volunteer, and they love being here. You know, everybody that works here has a full-time job, and this is just a place for passion and love of the sport and the community and all the kids that come through the door. We started doing skate school about a year ago, and it's amazing, man. Altogether we have about 30 kids signed up, and it's so cool too, because it's like we have a pretty strong skate community here, but all the kids that are doing skate school, they've never skated a day in their life. So we're kind of building we're building like the next generation of skaters. And it's so amazing working with these kids, you know. Kids will bash their head against the cement over and over and over and over again just to roll away that one time. And that impacts your entire life, you know, having that relentlessness. And seeing the kids, you know, you can really tell when a kid is dedicated to this sport. Like, they'll fall on the ramp, but they'll get right back up and run up to go again. And I mean, that's the, you know, most heartwarming thing seeing with the skate school kids is just the determination and the relentlessness getting built in them. My name is Bryce Schmitz, and this is Whisper.